What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Your guy, Cody, here. And I wanted to just kind of talk about a topic real fast that we've kind of seen a little bit of people talking amongst Colts Nation. And it's about quarterback Anthony Richardson. Now, obviously, the Indianapolis Colts this last week, they had OTAs. So you got to see a little bit of Anthony Richardson, saw a little bit of Daniel Jones, saw a little bit of Tyler Warren, and a lot of other guys here for the Indianapolis Colts. And I saw some people really coming out and talking about Anthony Richardson, saying things like, oh man, he doesn't look good. You know, he looks like he's throwing some passes high. We saw that he got intercepted in OTAs and like all these things going on where, you know, and you see these aggregator accounts coming out and really trying to push the Anthony Richardson's really struggling in OTAs and all this kind of stuff. People are eating it up. It's just this whole thing. And I kind of wanted to just touch on it because I have a few thoughts here, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts here in the comments down below. But when it comes to this whole Anthony Richardson conversation, I kind of look at this from a couple different angles. Number one, I look at OTAs in general, right? I think a lot of times in OTAs, there's a lot of things that the Indianapolis Colts ask their players to do. There's a lot of situations that they do where we just don't know a lot of the context behind it. Like, for example, there were some passes that Richardson was throwing that were kind of like higher up, and the guys had to go get it. And a lot of people were saying, oh, man, he's so inaccurate and all that. And I was like, I mean, he could be. Like, I don't know the context of this, but say definitely that that's exactly what was wrong, like Anthony Richardson's struggling. I don't know if that's a completely accurate. We just don't know what the context is, right? Could that have been a sort of drill where they ask him to do that for the receivers? I don't know what the answer is to that. So the context there behind that, the context behind obviously the interception, you know, that's going to be highlighted. Everybody's going to talk about it. I kind of look at it and I say, look, it's OTAs at the end of the day, right? Like it's guys running around in shorts, throwing and just catching the football. No real pads are on. So when in the grand scheme of things, when I view like what is the most important thing, I view OTAs very, very like low on the totem pole. I think there's a lot that you take with a grain of salt. Now you don't just say, oh, completely ignore that, because obviously that's a thing that, you know, happened. But when I look at it, I just kind of say, you know, regardless, if Anthony Richardson was lighting it up, if he was looking great, or if he was looking terrible, or somewhere in between, I'm just not going to take a lot of that with a lot of grain of salt, right? Because we're to the point where it's late May at this point when, you know, the Colts are having OTAs. Like there's a lot of things that are going to happen between now and the start of the regular season come September. And they're not in pads, which I think is massive. And even in training camp, like you don't get a full, accurate, like representation of what the season's going to be like. Because if you remember, guys, like Anthony Richardson was looking pretty solid in training camp. Like he had some really, really good days where he looked really accurate. Then the regular season comes around, he doesn't even hit 50% of his passes. So regardless of how he looks in OTAs, I just don't really take a lot of that, you know, very seriously at this point. I mean, it's just like whatever. Like he threw an interception, that sucks. Everybody's going to highlight it because there's a lot of people on the anti-Anthony Richardson train. I'm kind of just like, at this point, whoever is the best quarterback, I don't really care. Obviously, Anthony Richardson would be the preferred guy because he's the guy you drafted, but whatever happens, happens. And, you know, even with Daniel Jones as well, like it's just hard to get a clear, accurate, like this is what it's going to be like. Now, of course, there are questions. Like the quarterbacks last year, both Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, they were not good at all in 2024. But it's OTAs at the end of the day. I think this is overreaction season for a lot of people. A lot of people taking these things on and saying, oh my gosh, like this is going to be a disaster. And it very well could be. Like it could be. I'm not going to say, oh my gosh, like forget this. Like Anthony Richardson's going to be great. No, I don't know. I have a lot of my own questions and concerns and criticisms of Anthony Richardson. And frankly, I don't know how it's going to go. But I think at this point in late May, let's just stop overreacting to these things. I mean, honestly, it's just kind of annoying that, number one, these accounts do this and they try to like put all this, like get all eyes on them and try to just stir up all this controversy and all this stuff. It's just annoying. And then number two, when people buy into that and they buy into their own narratives, whether good or bad, it's just frustrating. It's just really frustrating. So if you're listening to this, and regardless of if you're like Anthony Richardson's the guy, if you're like, I don't believe in Anthony Richardson, I hope we can all come to the understanding that we can't really take a lot away in late May. When training camp comes around, and even, I mean, at the end of the day, training camp doesn't matter if it doesn't translate to the regular season. So whatever happens in the regular season, number one, the biggest concern for me is Anthony Richardson's got to win the job. He's got to beat Daniel Jones out first, and then we'll start talking about some of this other stuff. And if he doesn't show any signs of improvement when it actually matters, then that's a whole different conversation we're going to be having over the course of the 2025 season. But that's kind of what I was thinking, guys. I just wanted to kind of get all my thoughts out there. Again, Derek and I had more of an extended conversation on this, but just wanted to kind of give my reaction here to some of the, things around Anthony Richardson, the idea that he's struggling and all this kind of stuff, and just say, let's slow our roll a little bit. It's only late May. It's OTAs. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of things we don't know behind the scenes. So let's just watch it play out. And again, Anthony Richardson could be terrible. He could be terrible this season. I don't know what the answer is. But right now, we can't make a definite proclamation one way or another on what Anthony Richardson's going to be this year. And even if he's going to win the job, we just don't know that information right now. But I wanted to give my thoughts here, guys, and I'd be curious to hear yours on this whole controversy around Anthony Richardson struggling in OTAs. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Again, guys, like I said, I'm not really like, I was obviously like a big AR believer and really wanted him to succeed, and I still do. But I've kind of come to the point where I care about the Colts succeeding more than I care about whoever the quarterback is. So we'll just have to see how it does play out here when training camp comes around at the end of July, early August, and then we get into actual games that matter. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. That'll do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, all that good stuff. But again, guys, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, guys, go Colts.